Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Saturday Night Review series. We've got well over 50 of these now. We're going to continue to add where we can. Not as many available as I would like, but they are available here and there. This is the November 13th edition, 1993. We are moving towards Starrcade. Last Wednesday was the Clash of the Champions, Flair and Vader. Is the main thing there. Of course, Flair wanting to be the world champion again. The match is not considered a victory, disqualification, and they do end up building towards the idea of Flair and Vader again at Starrcade. This time there is the run of the idea that if Flair doesn't win, he gets retired. That's the way they close the year. We've got uh, hand enhancement match Scorpio and Bagwell here. Obviously, Scorpio and Bagwell pretty well been around. They've done the tag team championship thing a couple of times. Scorpio manages to hit almost a modified suplex, jump round kick. Bagwell is still treated like the guy that when he makes the tag comes in does pretty big things. Second rope shoulder tackle from the inside from Bagwell. Bagwell manages to be on the better side. The cutoff by the heel. Enhancement talent team is here. Nothing really worth writing home about. 450 splash from Scorpio gets the victory there. Clash of the Champions. Actually, Battle Bowl, the 1993 Battle Bowl is hyped next. Obviously, Battle Bowl, the tag team elimination deal. That is the November 20th, 1993 pay per view. We then see Ice Train come out and have an enhancement talent match. Fred Avery, not Fred Avery, but one of the larger guys is his opponent. Basic match, not anything worth writing home about. Hip tosses, body slams, and the like. They're really trying to position the idea of Ice Train as a major African American star to, I don't know that replace Ron Simmons, but be at his level, I guess is the way they're trying to go with it. Gut wrench suplex and Irish whip, and then big backdrop. Real struggle of a match to get through. Ice Train, certainly inexperienced and not particularly terribly athletic. Ron Simmons out and kind of humiliates him. Basically says he's got a lot of ability, but not a lot of stick-to-itiveness, and that he's missing workouts. That seems to be the refrain over the next several weeks' worth of promos. Gene Okerlund interviews Max Payne about kind of Payne turning babyface. Then we go to an enhancement match with Dustin Rhodes. Rhodes cranks up on a chin lock after some degree of consistency with, arm drags and the like. Rhodes takes him over, side headlock takeover, and again, we're kind of moving towards more Dustin Rhodes and Paul Orndorff stuff in singles matches and the like. And then we see um, the idea of Yoshi Kwan and Paul Orndorff in tag team action here. Anderson and Roma are the opponents there. Odd team alignment, not really discussed a whole bunch. Maybe more of a match filler. Yoshi Kwan misses a tackle in the corner on Anderson. Anderson takes the majority of the first beginning of the match. And Paul Orndorff takes Anderson down, hard shots. Tag off to Roma. Roma manages to stay pretty even with Orndorff for a while. An attempted pile driver by Orndorff. Anderson runs in, makes the save for his team. All four guys in the ring, and the Horsemen at this point are kind of sent out. Harley Race tries to hold Roma in place, trip on a roll up, and Anderson and Roma get a victory off of Roma's roll up. Roma heads out in a hurry to the arena floor. Then we go to another enhancement talent match. This time the Nasty Boys are the culprits, obviously multi-time tag team champions. They are certainly happy with that. The enhancement talents crimp up on the arm a little bit, cut off with some knees. Jerry Sags does surprisingly more than average in the match, and eventually the power slam elbow drop combination for the tag team champions get the win. Once again, they say there's really no challenges for them. Missy Hyatt is out there with them as well. That is an interesting managerial assignment, to say the very least. Then we go to the Starrcade Lethal Lottery from previous years. They show highlights of the double ring battle royal from previous years as well. Kind of trying to hype the idea of the Battle Bowl thing being a big deal. Gene Okerlund continues his hype station stuff. Certainly not terribly worth looking into too much. Anyway, Vader eventually ends up coming out to try to, I guess you'd say, save Sid a little bit here, but from previous weeks, and obviously Ric Flair and Sid Vicious are your tag team here. Sid has walked away from the alignment with Vader and all of that. The Kongs jump Sid from behind. Vader ends up taking liberties with Sid. Again, they were trying to eliminate Sid from what was going to be a Starrcade level match originally. Flair is out there with Steve Austin and Arn Anderson. I mean, there's a whole bunch of chaos in this as a match that is very hard to follow. Needless to say, the team of Vader and Austin versus Flair and Anderson's out there, but they don't really get into the why. Austin and Flair in the same ring, certainly fun to look at for a time. Sid comes out in the, Flair gets nearly knocked out in this. They're trying to put Flair in a position of being the guy to look like he could defeat Vader, but also kind of teasing the idea of Flair versus Austin somewhere down the road that never really happens. Flair hits a inverted atomic drop in the midpoint. Vader gets back into the ring. Anderson and Flair in control for a little bit, although not as much in control as they could be. Colonel Robert Parker out there representing Austin's interest, obviously, as we have seen before. And, Austin kind of doing the cockiness of doing some jumping jacks. A slingshot into the corner by Anderson on Austin. Anderson and Austin would be a feud that would look good at any point. Austin trying to gain some degree of control. Vader going up against Anderson with the Samoan drop and pretty well crushes Arn Anderson for a little while there. Then we see Austin come back in and mocking Arn Anderson. Obviously, they have a history because of the Hollywood Blondes situation, but that is undertold here. Anderson gets beat around by Vader for the next several minutes due to the size differential. Tag off back to Steve Austin and Anderson coming back in with about 3 minutes left in the program. Anderson trying to fight his way out of that predicament. Doesn't get all he wants on the fight out. Flair comes back in off a hot tag, takes Anderson takes Austin and Vader down temporarily. Flair is a house of fire. They do not close the deal with a victory here. Flair is attempting the figure four as we close the show. The last 45 seconds of the show has Flair with Austin in the figure four. Vader does come in and hit the Vader bomb on his opponent, but also sends the or gets sent out by the referee. Kind of a cluster mess of a match, to be honest. But we close here less than a month before, well, just about a month actually, before Starrcade. We'll be back with more right after this.